What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Kings Speak. So excited for this special edition episode. It's not season 3 yet, but we wanted to make sure we came to you this year and offered some good information. So you are about to tune in as I chat with Storey about commitment, community, and consistency. So get ready for a great conversation. Yes, as I shared before, welcome to Kings Speak. This episode is all about commitment, community, and consistency. And I wanted to bring Storey back. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen the first episode that we did, this is his second time on the show. You need to go back to the library of content that we have and watch Built Different. It was about 2 hours of incredible conversation where you'll learn and grow about all kinds of things. It was just really good. But today we're talking about commitment, community, and consistency. And let me get my guy up in here. What's going
What's up?
on,
What's up?
Steven?
Jamie, long time no talk. Well,
I
not
know.
long time no talk on here.
Exactly. Dude, I think it's like literally been a year.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It went by quick, didn't it?
It really did. I can't even believe I've been here a year. I'm like still adjusting to life, really. But yeah, that's crazy. Time is flying when we're having fun. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Well, you look good. You're doing good.
It.
I'm a fan of your work.
I appreciate it.
I'm all up in the Twitter space, doing what I do too, watching you. But when it came to this commitment, community, and consistency, I was inspired by you and your work. And even a year ago when we talked, you have come a long way when it comes to especially these 3 things. And I've watched you grow and develop things that have served the community. You've been extremely consistent and you've been committed to your work. So I wanted to talk about it because I feel like there is a lot that people can glean from your energy and what you put out. So really quick, for people who don't know who you are, do you want to kind of introduce who you are and what you're into? And then we'll dive into these questions.
Yeah. So for everybody who's watching this that has not met me in real life or met me online, my name is Steven Storey. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I am bilingual. I'm an independent insurance adjuster. I've been in that space since 2015. I've been in insurance since 2008. And now I teach people about the independent insurance adjusting industry, how to get into it and how to excel in it.
Yes, and that you are doing. I love that you're bilingual. Tell us something in Portuguese.
Eu falo para vocês, mas eu sei. Sou brasileiro por gente entende. Eu moro lá em Brasil, em Salvador, Bahia. E fica lá para 2 anos. So I just say I live in Salvador, Brazil. I know that only Brazilians will understand that. And I've been living there for 2 years. And so yeah, I learned Portuguese just from living there. I didn't study. I didn't take any classes or anything like that.
Go off. I love to see it. That is so cool. I studied French growing up, but if you don't study it, you lose it. I can get around the city, but and then I got in my Spanish kick. I lived in California. Everybody speaks Spanish, but I want to be immersed in the culture because it sounds like that's the way to get it right.
I was in Spain. A few days ago. I can understand the Spanish there.
Yeah, it seems like Portuguese and Spanish, I don't know. It seems like even the way when I'm hearing it, it sounds a little bit the same. I'm sure there's, influences from. Yeah. So I love that.
They're not so far away from each other, Spain and Portugal, and then they're romantic languages, so they have some similarities, Same for French and Italian.
Yes. One day when I commit.
One day.
Speaking of commitment, we'll talk about commitment. So let's dive into the conversation. What do you believe about the power of commitment?
Well, I think that commitment can make anything happen. Commitment increases skill. Commitment increases willpower. Commitment increases imagination. It increases power. Like, if you think about, if you tried to cut a tree down in one swing with an axe, you couldn't do it. But if you showed up once a day, one swing, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, you could cut down a tree if you just swung it one time a day, right? But then if you did it twice a day, 5 times a day, 5 times an hour, 5 times a minute, 5 times a second, you went and got a tool and you got other people to help you with it. Those things are all consistency, and that's just a quick visual on consistency. That's how I view it, and that's what's helped me over this last 12 months.
Yeah, you know, well, when it comes to consistency, I have, you know, a similar parable in mind. I watched something that made so much sense. It kind of talked about, pushing the tree or the big boulder or whatever it was, and being consistent about it. And, somebody was going out there, they were pushing the boulder every day. They were pushing the boulder,
right.
Trying to get to push the boulder, and it wasn't moving. But their arms got stronger. Yep. Their legs got stronger. Yep. Their mental dexterity got stronger. Exactly. They were, what I mean? So there's such a beauty to commitment and consistency that I believe we don't see because we're not seeing results right away. So how do you feel that type of energy kind of discourages people from being committed to something and consistent in a thing?
Well, that's the problem, right? I think, for example, I'll just use myself as an example because we're talking about me, so I'm talking about my example. So, when I first made my course, we got something like 100 students. And then I went through 6 months of almost nothing. I would get maybe 20 students a month, 15 students a month. I had a really big first month, and then I started listening to other people. Well, your first month when you release something is always the biggest month. So I was like, well, hey, okay, 15, 20 students a month, that's fine. But then I was like, you know what? I can do better than this. And I just started showing up every day. I didn't know what I was doing as far as promoting or marketing or anything like that. I was like, I'll just show up again. And some days were, nobody joined, nobody, listened. I remember when I first started telling people about this business of insurance adjusting, people laughed at me. This is before the course. This is 5 years before the course. Like the first 6 months of me doing this, I was like, hey, you can do this and this, and you can make this kind of money. And they would just laugh at me, and they just laugh and laugh and laugh for years. This happened for years, and I just kept going, as far as just in my own career before I even started teaching people. And I would tell my friends, I would tell family members, and they wouldn't listen. I only got 4 people in 5 years to listen to me, But then I just showed up again. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, no, I'll keep showing up. And then the pandemic hit, and then I was already looking for a way to help other people, and I didn't think it would be through this. So I had discounted myself and was like, you know what? People don't want to know about this. This is not sexy. It's not cool or anything like that. Whatever. And that was just doubt. That's just doubt. Like you don't. Just because you see something doesn't mean that's the end of it. Like just because you see like 10 people sign up doesn't mean 1,000 people won't sign up later. But it's just because those 1,000 people don't know. They don't know yet. It took me 50,000 people have visited my site to get a little over 1,000 people to say yes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like that's a lot. That's a lot of those. So like for the person that's trying to gain consistency, whether it's in health, wealth, or love or anything like that, or they want to change a habit, I got 49,000 no's.
Let that sink in. Like
you know what I'm saying? Like if you view my product, if you view my website and you didn't click, that's a no. I got 49,000 of those to get to 1,000. Well, I got more than that. I got like 2,000 yeses, but like that's a lot of no's. And so for the person that's just starting out, when I told the guy the other day, I was like, hey, look, let's find out what it takes to win, right? So what does a win look like for you? And then how many tries do we have to get that win? So like if we're being consistent, like the first day show up, nothing happens. Show up until you get a win, and then let's count all the tries. So then we'll know what our percentage is. So if I know I get one win every 200, no, I'm sorry, one win for every 50 tries, I should try 100 times. And not only should I try 100 times, I should try 100 times fast as possible. And that's the other part of consistency is speed of consistency that I think a lot of people don't get because they're like, well, I'm consistent, but you're doing it slowly. I'm consistent fast. I'm consistent real fast, consistently. And I think that's where you'll see results. Your results begin to compound is through speed of consistency, speed of implementation. Speed of implementation. Sorry guys, I've been switching languages
I was
recently.
gonna say you better make up your words. We can
Yeah,
understand. We
my
feel
bad.
you.
Anyway, yeah, Jamie, I ain't trying to talk a whole lot.
No, I feel you. We want you to talk because you got this thing down, and it's so funny. I was laughing when you said consistency fast because I kind of used to be like that. I'm the type of person, if I get something on my plate, like I'm running with it. If I feel it, I believe it, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that after certain life experiences and things that happen that can be discouraging or
Correct.
viewed as that. For me, I personally changed my tempo a little bit. I was like, I don't know, because what you got going on is like a Noah situation where it's like, I got this ark, y'all. I got this ark. It's gonna rain. Y'all want to come to the ark? Like, it's gonna rain in a minute, and it's sunny, it's bright, it's dry, it's hot. People are like, please,
Yeah.
miss me with that. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. It was people literally saying those things to me, and
Like,
but then it started raining. You know what I'm saying? It started
right?
raining, and I had art. You know.
You
Um,
did. And so, like, what is like the mentality? What do you think, and what is the mentality or advice you would give people who are pushing past those things? Because to be consistent fast, it requires a level of energy. And as humans who need some kind of victories, when we're not getting that, what would you suggest, or what's your mindset where you're like, nah, I'm showing up today. Like, it's gonna rain.
yeah.
I don't know when, but it's coming.
I just believed it. I had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
imagination. I had a lot of belief behind it. When I made the course, I said I want 5,000 students. Before anybody got it, I wanted 5,000 students. That's what I wrote it for. I wrote it for 5,000 people to consume it. And so I just imagined. When the victory wasn't there, yeah, I imagined it. I believed it. Big belief, big action, big result. And so, like, I just kept believing that would happen. And I just took the action to make it be so. But if I had believed if I had just taken what happened December 2020, when I had maybe 30 students, would have been done. We wouldn't be talking about this. And so, because that was a real result. And so I had to increase my belief some more. And I just became delusional in my belief. I'm seeing something that's not there yet. And I think we all have to do that. You have to just, I don't care. I believe it. So what? I believe it. I'm going to exert my will and make this belief come into reality. And that was me, as I kept showing up. Because the other thing for me was I wanted to get the product in people's hands. Then I had to learn what they really wanted after that.
Yes.
As far as building a community out. And so I listened. I did a lot of listening, changing small things. And once I realized that, hey, I think we got everything right, that's when I really, really pushed.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
one more thing, Jamie, what I'll say to that is for
Yeah.
everybody that's listening to that, and it's not, we're talking about what I'm doing, but like, it's just an example for what you could do, right? Just because you haven't lost the weight you want to lose yet, or you haven't made the money you want to make yet, you're not in a relationship you want to be in, it doesn't mean it won't happen. But it also doesn't mean that you're going to do it the way you're currently doing it. How we started in 2020 is not how we're doing things right now. I've pivoted. I've made small pivots and big pivots every couple of days, every couple of weeks, month, every 2 months, 3 months. We're always pivoting a little bit to get the goal we want. And that's also been a big thing. I think a lot of people, when it comes to consistency, everybody's familiar with the axe. The axe has a sharp end and it has a dull end. Just because you got an axe and you chop it down the tree don't mean you're hitting it with the right end. You see? And so a lot of people, they're at the right place, they're swinging, they have the right tool in their hand, but you're not using it correctly. And so, but we got to go back in there. So big belief, big action, result. So once I go back and look at my results, okay, are my results adding up to taking me to where I want to go? Yes or no? No. All right, let's go back and look at the tools. Am I in the right place? Do I have do I have the energy to swing this axe today? Am I swinging on the right tree? Am I swinging on a concrete tree? Like all these things have to come into play, guys, as we focus on consistency. And so the other part of consistency, I think, is tracking results.
Oof. Yes. Yes. That's a big one right there.
Yeah. I think that If we track results properly, then we know where we're really going. Because what gets what is it? What how they say it? What gets managed gets tracked, or what gets tracked gets managed, or you know what I'm
That
talking
sounds
about?
about right. Yes.
Yeah, it's something like that. And so what I find is, for a lot of people, they're not tracking properly.
Correct.
When I wanted to get my money up, I put all the accounts I had, and I tracked every dollar I earned every single day on an Excel sheet. I didn't make no app. I
Right.
manually put it in. I know it's sexier ways to do things, but that was my way of tracking how much money I had every single day. And then it became a little game. I tried to make it a little higher every day. So my budgeting got better and my income increasing skills got better too. But it's all because I managed and tracked what was really going on, my results, But
Yeah. No, I love the way you put it, because you use the term like it's not sexy. And I really feel like in this day and age, we just because of social media, we just want to see the results and we salivate over the results, the dude or the woman and the whatever designer this in front of whatever car in whatever
mm-hmm,
country. But the stuff that you're talking about is not sexy, but it's the stuff that needs to be done in order for the results to come into fruition. So I feel like there's a lot of people who are willing to do the hard work, but I do think that that's something that's missing, because that takes a lot of effort. It takes a different type of effort to track and manage, a different type of effort to be
mm-hmm.
consistent when you're not seeing results. Like you have to, like you said, be absolutely delusional
Yeah.
about what you're doing and allow that to be the faith that moves you forward. And I think that what we are learning, or what we have the opportunity to learn, even when we speak about faith, is like the posture we're supposed to have while we're waiting for a thing. It's like you can put it in motion,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure that we are learning, whether it be from religion or spirituality or just in our everyday life, the
Mm-hmm.
posture to hold that will allow us to actually be in position to receive what we're asking for.
Right. Right. I agree. One of my friends talked about it yesterday. He was saying that, like, you can be at a bus stop ready to get on the
Mm-hmm.
bus, but your bags ain't packed. And so now you gotta let the bus go by. You at the right bus stop, the bus ain't
Right.
came, but you're
Right.
not ready. And I think that I've had opportunities in life where I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the thing I thought I deserved.
Wow.
And when I go back and look at it, and I was like, I wasn't ready because of this, and this, and this, and I wasn't managing those things.
Mm.
Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to I wanted to have 5,000 students, but I wasn't going to sleep early enough to wake up early enough to do the work I need to do before I started work every day.
Mm.
So I was working 60 hours a week when I made the course, 60 or 70 hours a week. And so, like, I wasn't consistent in other parts of my life. How we do one thing is how we do everything. And so other areas of my life, I wasn't being consistent enough to be able to do this at a high level,
Yeah.
And so it's like, as we look at this big goal and big dream that you have, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you got to look at other things. Like, look, am I making my bed every day? Do I eat breakfast every day? Do I brush my teeth at the same time every day? Do I arrive at work? Do I leave work at the same time every day? Do I go to lunch and eat the same? What am I doing every day consistently? And if it's all a bunch of you messing around, that's going to bleed over into the goal that you want.
That's very true. That's some good advice. You might even be preaching to me, because I'll be over here playing around sometimes. I do. It's really, I don't know what it is. It's so hard sometimes for me to be consistent. If I'm not in I always tell my friends, because, I'm a very entrepreneurial spirit.
Right.
I make my own checks in various ways.
Right.
But when I get tired of doing that, I get a full-time job, and I'm like, this is like my break, because it does kind of give me the structure. My crazy self needs to be like, okay, 8 o'clock be here, then 12 o'clock I'm gonna do this, and then otherwise I don't know. I don't know if I have the container to handle my own self sometimes. So it's really good advice. I'm a little too airy. I see Tony. Tony, do you see what this is the problem when people read your name, girl, because I love you and know you, and I'm still messing that up. Tani Belafonte. Death needs to be more consistent with my bedtime and wake up time. I'm with you, girl. We try every night. I'm telling you, Steven, her and I, we sit up on the phone knowing we need to go to bed.
Y'all want me to tell y'all how to do that?
Tell
Would you like
us.
some help with that?
Give us the secret.
I'm gonna tell y'all something about giving advice. You gotta ask to give advice, because if you don't, they're not gonna like it.
I receive it. I create the space to receive the advice.
Okay. So this is the first thing I do because I'm on a computer a lot. I'm on my phone a lot. I have a blue screen blocker on both my computer and my phone. Those things, the blue light, it keeps us awake at night, and it overstimulates your eyes and your brain throughout the day. And so one thing I did was just putting a blue light blocker on my phone and my MacBook, the screens, not the glasses. The glasses don't work like you think they do. The next thing I do is I take glycine. A lot of people think melatonin is the key. It's not. Take the glycine. Glycine helps you with deep sleep, right? Then another thing I notice is you got to wind down the day, right? So you cannot work in your bed. So even if you're in the bed during the day working, don't do that because your body thinks that this is a workspace. Get out of your bed when it's time to work. Go somewhere else in the house. Then the next thing you want to do is, as the night gets lower, start turning the lights off. Keep things darker. It's all these things that are going to calm your mind down. Another thing I do a lot because I have a stressful job and I have like 1,800 people I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis and my students. I have smells that I don't smell until it's time to go to bed. Like I have an oil diffuser or incense. And I'm just getting my mind ready to calm down. And I don't always do this, but if you really need to get some sleep, leave your phone out in the living room, go and get into bed. But you can't work in the bed, read in the bed, and watch TV in the bed. Okay, that's for the living room. You live in the living room, you get in the bed, go to sleep in the bedroom. Okay. But as a person who is a high performer, that's helped me because I've noticed that the better I sleep, the better I can perform the next day. The more sharp I am to answer questions for my students, do my job properly, and work out. Another thing is, guys, you got to move your body. Okay. A lot of the reason why a lot of us don't get enough sleep is because we haven't expended all the energy for the day. So I usually like to go on walks first thing in the morning. I'll walk again in the midday or something like that. I'll lift some weights or something like that. Swim if I'm in Brazil. And what begins to happen is you're tired. You're tired. And here's the other thing. If you work real hard all day long, you will go to sleep easily. Okay. So work real hard.
We gotta work hard.
Work really, really hard. If you can consistently do that and then do everything else I tell you to do, you're gonna be going to sleep like a rock.
That's so funny. I'm laughing. And, me and Tani, I see, associating sense with bedtimes. I love it. Maybe I'll make that shift too, because I wake up in the morning and, I'm about the scents. I got the incense and then I'll diffuse and then but maybe I will start to structure to where when it's time to go to bed, I will make other arrangements. Cause I'm the person listening to audiobooks in the bed, trying to catch up on the latest, tarot reading. I'll be reading, sending email. Like I'm the worst. I don't have a TV in my bedroom, but I will tell myself it's time to go to bed and I'll be in there for about 3.5 hours before any sleep is happening. Just because it's like, I'm not doing the things. I'm not. Okay.
No, just start there. Let's start with just do this. Just stay out in the living room until it's time to go to bed. So if you got to stay there for another 3 hours, do that. But just don't get in the bed and be like, all right, new hangout spot.
Part 2. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Round
like,
3.
Because like I said, I wake up really early. I wake up like 4:30 every morning. So
I'm still up from the night before during those times. I don't know what the deal is, yo. I can't.
And I also take naps too, but that's another thing. But y'all start with that.
Yeah. All right, Tani, we got our list. Let's keep each other as accountable as possible.
Yeah, that'll help y'all out.
This is why we need men in our life. We love having our guy friends and sharing because y'all are real logical. We will float. When I tell you, we will float through this day and not even think twice about it. Yes, she put in there the after party. It is. It'd be the after party in the bedroom. That's just not. It's not gonna work. Still up at 4, no good reason. Yeah, me too. It's really bad. It's insane. I'm like a little kid. I don't know what that's about. It's like I'll tell myself it's time to go to bed, and then I'll hear the parent and the kid in my brain fight. Like, but I don't want to. I don't want to yet. I don't want to. We're getting it together. You did a very, inspiring group, and it came at the right time. You did a Spaces on Twitter, and you just had a bunch of people in there, but you were fired up, and so were your friends, and That was so good. And, you know, we
Yeah.
were just talking about the last 90 days of the year,
Yeah.
what needs to be happening. Tell me what that was
Yeah.
inspired by and what results you're seeing from that.
Yeah. Like for people who know me in real life, I'm like that all the time. That's me normal. That's me
I
on a
love that.
normal. That's not. I was cooking a steak and I felt like talking.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that inspired that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to be able to do that with Periscope, just hop on camera and just talk about
I miss
that idea,
Periscope.
but I don't get to do that anymore. So
Yeah.
I just hopped on space and just want to encourage people because I know that over the last 5 years or so on Twitter, I've seen people really make something happen over the last 90 days, but it usually has to be a concerted effort by other
Mm-hmm.
people to say, hey, look, we got 90 days left in the year, reminding people to go ahead and engage for the last part of the year instead of letting off the gas like most people do. And then let's push into the new year. And so a lot of people they really only live about 9 to 10 months a year because the first half of January, they don't do any work. And they stop doing work about halfway through November. So that's 6 weeks there and then another 2 weeks at the beginning of the year. So we're talking about most people operate on a 10-month year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then out of those 10 months, they only perform for probably a month and a half out of all that. And they're tired. And they think they're tired out of that 6 weeks put together, not doing a full 6 weeks in unison. It's like a 3 day here, 2 day here, work real hard for 2 days before vacation. And so they have about 6 weeks of pure production. Whereas what I'm trying to help people with is, hey, look, no matter what happened, we can push hard for 90 days and get a year and a half ahead of most people, right? Because what we want to do is we want to make some new pathways for habits. Because when we remove a habit, we got to replace it with something else. So if
Mm-hmm.
we can push really hard for 90 days, what begins to happen is they begin to get in the habit of being a higher performer. And then their next 12 months is going to be at a much higher level. All we're trying to do is raise the floor. We don't have to worry about the ceiling. Let's raise the floor and people are performing at a higher level, you know. And so that's that 9 days was talking about. And that's what we want to help these communities that I got is
Yeah.
helping those things out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You've definitely created community with that. Yes. New pathways for new habits. Yes, that's something that is, you know, always on our mind. I kind of, you know, this has been a year of a particular rest for me, which is nice. Sometimes you have to know what season you're in. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm also somebody who has never gotten a chance to like rest before for a
Yeah.
long period of time because, you know, you're always moving, you're always creating and getting done what needs to get done.
Mm-hmm.
And but when I heard that, I definitely knew it was time for me to kick it up a notch because you're right. I don't want January to start. January is not the moment to be like, let's do this thing. You're already behind at that point. And I've always
Oh yeah.
believed that.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, but you know, that's not a running start to get any jump, you know, ahead. So you said that you're always like that and you've got that energy and you're always encouraging people. So when it comes to community, like how important is your role and your encouragement in your brotherhood? And how does that work for you? Because I see a lot of you guys be like, oh my God, I was on the phone with you earlier and you told me
Oh
this, you
yeah.
told me that. So how does that play a part in your brotherhood?
Well, you know, it ain't just for the guys. I talk to the women too.
Okay,
Um,
I love it. Yes.
as far as my professional community, the insurance adjusting group,
Mm-hmm.
what I try to do is I try to set the intention that we're here to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I do not snap at students in the group. I don't, because I know I know the other students are gonna model my behavior. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm helpful, if I'm always helpful in the community, I never get mad at people for asking questions over and over again. I'll refer them somewhere else where they can go. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
look, this is in a group somewhere else, or hey, check the group for this and this. Check this PDF, check that, check this video. What I'm trying to do is be helpful. And if I can show by example that I'm always helpful to other people, all the other people in the group are gonna do that too. If I
Mm.
start biting people's heads off because they ask me a question, if I say you gotta ask questions to me a certain kind of way, like you gotta defer to me and things like no. So I try to show the example, like, look, we all here to help each other. And I make it a point to always have a even temper with my students. Even when they ask me dumb stuff, you know what I'm saying? I try to keep an even keel with them. And what I find happens is as my students go further and they get their own jobs and they have some answers that they can give to each other, they do the same thing. And so that's what we try to do. We're
Leading
trying to
by
be of
example.
service. We're trying to be of service all the time. I didn't make all this for me. I made this for everybody else, for that
Yeah.
5,000.
Yeah, I love that. Leading by example, being a person of service. Like you said, you started with 30 to 100 students. Now you have 1,800. So
Yeah.
how has the power of building this type of community made an impact on your personal life? For you, for Stephen?
It's been a wild ride for me, because like for me, it's like, all right, we got one more, but I'm not at 5,000 yet. So I feel fulfilled because I'm happy for some of the stories people tell me. Some of the stories are really interesting, like the background people have, the things they were going through, how they got through that and made their own success story. Those things are amazing to me. But I really I really try to put it back on them. Hey, you did the work. I ain't do nothing. I wrote out a course. You the one had to read it and do all the extra work, and so I'm always trying to do that for them. Jamie, you freeze up on me. Jamie looks frozen. Her face is frozen. I don't know if there she go. There's Jamie.
I was like, I don't know what happened.
Your face was frozen.
Uh,
But I think he kept recording on my end. But what I was basically saying was that for me, I just put it back on the students. I appreciate all of them and what they've done. I just I opened the door for somebody and they had to do the work to go through it. And when they finished, hey, you did it. I didn't do it. You did all the work. And so I like to keep the focus on them because that's what we do it for. I don't focus on me so much.
Okay.
It sounds like you only work and no play. Look, I'm probably one of the funnest people you ever met. I'll be everywhere and I'll be having a ball. I was just paragliding like 5 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
I was swimming in the Atlantic Ocean in Morocco. I was in Spain. I'll be kicking it. Like, I really be having fun. I'm just really serious about what I'm serious about.
I love that. Again, I've had those seasons where I was very much like that and I could do that, but I don't know. I just shifted and then, God blessed me with this rest. And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, take it.
I don't know,
Take
what
the
things
rest,
are going to look like. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, that was 2019 for me. I took like 8 months off. So,
Okay, perfect. So you get your recharge, you have your fun, you make that space.
Well, yeah, I think, I think if we look at life, right? And let's look at if you look at human history, humans didn't work 12 months out of the year. If we were in agriculture, we worked for a period of time, and then we were off when we hung out for 2 or 3 months with the family. You doing your thing, whatever, and then you came back to it. Even if you was working in a factory or something like that. Yeah, you're right. You're right now. Now we're talking. Yeah, that's what I be doing. Thank you. But we have always had built-in rest for humans, but because of the industrial age, now the digital age that we're in, the information age that we're in, we don't rest properly. And so for me, like, I'm going really hard now, but in February till maybe May, I was just hanging out, going to the beach, swimming, recharging.
I like that.
And so I call them mini retirements.
You do not have to wait until you are 75 years old to enjoy yourself, retire, and do some kicking it.
Exactly.
People.
Yeah, just retire for a bit. Retire and then come back to it. But you got to get some results before you do that.
Yeah.
You don't just retire because you feel like it. Like, go in and put the work in, give your all. When you feel like you can't give no more, go rest for a bit.
I love that. Again, taking notes, that's something I'm kind of seeing that being something that'll be more effective for me because you burn out. I kind of love the space that the pandemic created because it was a forced pause. Before that, I was working on this, creating, doing a monthly this, events, job, house clean, groceries. I didn't even realize how chicken with a head cut off I felt because we're kind of trained to do what we need to do, work, do this, do that, so I like the idea of being able to have your own reset and do things in a way that actually makes sense. Like we're low key rewriting the rules right now. And I'm kind of liking the way this is looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. I was already doing it because of my
Mm-hmm.
career. I was already
Mm-hmm.
taking, 2 or 3 months off at a time years ago. I'm just happy everybody else doing it.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. And
I'm
that you were
happy for
able
everybody
to,
else.
yeah, and you were able to like introduce that to them. So to me, when I see your insurance adjusting course
Yeah.
and sharing your life and what you have, you're giving people an opportunity to rewrite their life.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to make it sound so all dramatic, but it really is that.
Well, yeah.
That's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree. But I'm just happy for them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely. Tani said burnout is real. I
well,
like your, yeah.
keep going, keep reading it, keep reading it, keep reading
Yeah, I like your February to May rest time. That helps with the discipline when you do get back at it.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to further that point, what excuse me, what it is actually is we have to give ourselves a reward. We work really,
Yes.
really, really, really hard, and you give your all to something. A 3-day vacation ain't enough,
No.
because then what happens is your subconscious views your work as punishment, and so now your subconscious is gonna try to get you out of punishment because uh, you haven't had enough benefit from all the work that was put in. So when you do a large amount of work, you got to have a big benefit. You want to have a large benefit, and when we do that, then our mind and our conscious and subconscious can work together and say, "Hey, look, I know we put all this work in, but because of this, we got to live like this. We got to do these things. You know, if we're gonna work this hard, like for me, I work really hard. I
You
eat
do.
well. I eat
Yeah.
well every single day. I
Mm-hmm.
do not skimp on food at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's part of my reward system. You know, I don't buy a lot of expensive clothes or shoes or anything like that. I see the expensive jewelry. I'm gonna go to nice restaurants. You know, and then I'll have time where I take off. And so we all got to build. So whatever that reward system is for you, it might not be food. It might be something else. It might be you like sneakers or something like that. Pick it and then reward yourself when needed.
Yeah, I love that. That is definitely something you and I have in common. I definitely adopted that mindset. Like, okay, if I have to do this work, not even have to, because it does become a punishment
Right.
when you think of it that way. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
I do my, I used to take myself out to a certain restaurant on every Friday or do this
Mm-hmm.
or that, and I stay pampering myself throughout the week just to honor me in this time. Because like we kind of started with the conversation, it's okay that it takes time to build and to get
Mm-hmm.
traction and to grow. But as
Right.
humans, we're wired to need to see some return. So even if we don't see the return in example, 5,000 students overnight, we can
Right.
still see the return in the steak that we eat for breakfast and the yacht
Right.
that we enjoy with our friends or the sun time we get.
Exactly.
That's the only way to
Exactly.
keep this thing going because it's a
Mm-hmm.
journey or you'll
Yeah.
burn out. Tempo
Yeah.
yourself.
I agree, and that's part of burnout. Burnout is when you do not get a big enough reward.
Yeah.
Let's go back and look at a time, and y'all can all imagine this. Let's go back and look at a time when you got burnt out. What if at the end of that work that you did, you got triple what your reward was? You know, like you worked really hard at your job, and you had a week off, and they said, you know what, Jamie, you got a month off.
Listen.
You wouldn't feel like burnout then. You'd be like, well, hey, appreciate it. I'm good. And so
Right.
that's what we want to do. We want to build out more of a reward-based system, especially for things like, I also think that for diet as well. A lot of people don't do that. They don't do a good enough job with their reward system. They're like, okay, today, I've been working really hard for a month, so I'm gonna eat half of a Snickers bar. What?
You better go
What?
out and get you
No, eat
something
the Snicker
good.
bar till you get sick of eating them. Eat as many as you can, and then you get back to working really hard again. Like
Yes.
eat 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And get a cupcake too.
like that's how I view like our reward system, because that's going to keep us on the path of consistency. You know, usually on Fridays I do something for myself, but I told myself that if I keep going one more month, if I finish November, where I want to be at, I'm buying myself something nice, like actually nice. Something I haven't bought myself before. So we're gonna see.
Good.
Well, ain't gonna be no we're gonna see. I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah. I
you know,
encourage that from you because you do work hard. Like I say, I follow your journey. I'm very observant. And sometimes I'm
yeah,
like, how does this man like get like you go? So I just be like, oh my God, we need some
yeah,
tips. You need to talk to people and let them know. And that's major keys right there.
yeah. I think the other thing is systems.
Mm-hmm.
Systems. So like when we first start out, and something we can kind of manually do everything. But as consistency grows and compounds, start going faster. We got more moving parts, and that's where our systems come into play. And so I did a lot with system-based activity, where I'm going in and tracking and saying, hey, I didn't perform well. Why didn't I perform well that day? I was tired. Why was I tired? Because I was answering a lot of people. Why was I answering a lot of people? Because you didn't have an FAQ sheet. You didn't have an FAQ video. And so then I said, let me get that. Then now I have a little area where I'm not performing bad in, right? And so that's the other thing. Because I track my results so well, I know when I was sleepy that day. I know when I was tired. I know when I had spaces. I know when I had this type of ad running. I know when my students were talking about my course. Because I'm that consistent, I can consistently track results and see what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, you know.
And I love that you brought that up, because I had put a question down here when we were talking about community of accountability. And if you can't look at yourself and take accountability and say, I didn't perform well this week. Like, it's okay to say that, because the only way you're going to be able to outperform your previous week is if you acknowledge you didn't perform the way that you wanted the week before.
Right. And that's where it comes at, right? Like what we said earlier, big belief, big action, big result. So big result doesn't mean success, by the way, guys. So I'm comfortable with the result, whether it's good or bad. I'm comfortable with results because I knew I took action, you know. And so if my goal is results, then I'll be okay. But if my goal is success and I get failure, I'm not going to be okay. And so I have to be married to the process of getting results, whatever they may be. And then I can change course based on that. And that allows me to do things outside of them with emotions like, you know, lack and desperation tied to my process, you know, of my work, you know.
I mean, what you're saying sounds simple and easy, but what I'm hearing is there's so many small things that you are doing differently that literally are game changers.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go into that a little bit, guys, because, you know, when we're talking about consistency and commitment, this was really performance, right? And so what I found is I was an athlete many years ago, back in college and all that. And what I found was when I didn't sleep, I didn't perform well. I didn't eat well, I didn't perform well if I ate the wrong thing. And so we go back and look at our business performance or the performance around a goal that we want. I found that if I listen to audiobooks in the bed when I wake up in the morning, it's not going to be a good day. If I don't say my affirmations throughout the day, I'm not going to have a good day. If I don't listen to upbeat music all day long, it's not going to be a good day. And so I found all these triggers because I kept trying different things. So I found all these triggers. And so what worked for me is I wake up at 4. I can focus until like 10 o'clock if I just don't get up. You know, these are all things I know because this is me and my personal thing. Your goals and personal things might be a little bit different, but how my habits worked was if I listened to upbeat music and I went for a walk in the morning and really went after it. So I need to go from like 4 to 6, I need to work. Then I can get up, I can walk, come back, I can go to about 10 o'clock. After about 10, 11 o'clock, that's it for deep work. Now it's time to eat. I'll go eat some breakfast. I'll go play around for a bit. I might take a nap. And then I'll polish off the rest of the day with a couple more hours of work. You see?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own system, but you're not going to find it unless you're being consistent and committed and you're putting in effort every day. Then you'll find out what works. And every day wasn't a productive day, by the way, y'all. Just so y'all know. A lot of them days were duds until I figured out what worked.
I am not mad at it. I love that you said that. It's actually the space that I'm in too. Like I told you, I don't be going to sleep at night, but I'm also learning that instead of like condemning myself for it, because I work for myself and do things, some of it is okay, but a part of me really just doesn't even come alive until about 6 p.m. So I'm not a morning person. At 8 a.m., I'm useless for some deep work. Like,
and that's okay. You ain't gotta be a morning person, you know what I mean? Like, you can make money and support yourself working at night, but when you at nighttime, you got, because see, here's the problem for people that are night owls. Everybody's awake at night, and so everybody can distract you with events and girl talk and yo, bro, hey man, did you see the game? Hey, let's come over here to Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, you have a lot of that distraction there, and so I think night owls got to be more focused than people who wake up early. Because nobody's awake at 4 o'clock in the morning wants to talk.
And
to
I
me,
love it.
At least,
yeah,
I got like
exactly.
3 people in the morning that I can talk to about what I want to talk about. Now, then I have to wait till like 9 a.m. for the rest of the world to wake up.
Right, because we were messaging last night at that time. I was like, "Oh, he's up." I didn't realize it's 3:30 in the morning, but I mean, whatever. I'm up. So here's the
Yeah,
response.
you ain't going to sleep yet. I was awake because I just woke up.
That's so funny. Two different sides of the spectrum, but we were awake
Yeah.
nonetheless. And then I was going to say, Tawny is in New York. You're in New York. Y'all should go eat something because she's
Come
cool.
on.
This is my girl.
I believe it.
And I feel like you guys would have incredible conversation.
Oh,
So you did bring up the athletic background before. So Stephen, I'll let you read this one. This is directed to you.
yeah. So I'm not familiar with your upbringing. Are you coming from an athletic background? A family that's business oriented? Yeah. Yes to both of those. I had a very athletic family. All my mother and father, me and my sisters were all athletes. Me and my sister were SEC athletes, and my mother and father both had businesses. They had their own separate businesses. One was in insurance, one was in real estate, and I grew up like that my whole life. My parents, I didn't grow up with my mom and dad working for other people. So, where does my gusto origin from? That's my mother and father. Like they were just. I think I might be a little bit more intense than they are, but I'm pretty intense. I feel like people live on the edge. I throw myself off the edge. I'm trying to throw myself off the edge and figure out what's possible. And part of that thing is my upbringing, but the other part I think is just innately in me, and it's going to be in me no matter what, because that's how I've always been.
Yeah, and I like that, and I could tell too, because a lot of the stuff that you share, sometimes I'm like, oh, my dad said that, so I know you got a good upbringing, because I'm like, the energy, but it does seem like you were blessed with the proper recipe of a family unit that's perfect for you.
Thankfully,
yeah. So
I'm really
love
blessed in that regard.
Oh, I see. Yes, absolutely. Tawny's making fun of you. She's like, Stephen only eats at 4. Well, you still gonna be up, girl.
I don't eat at 4. I eat at I usually eat midday. I usually eat like 11 or 12. Just depends.
I love it.
Yeah, where was I at? I'm here in Brooklyn, so I went to this diner and I had a steak, some grits, 2 orders of bacon, a pancake. What else I have? I think I want to shoot something like that. I'm not a small person, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, you need to be fed. You're a grown man.
Yeah, like I'm not. I'm a bit bigger than people think I am.
Okay, I love it. Tawny said, okay, we can brunch. So
awesome.
I actually sent her your stuff the other day because her nephew is looking for a career change, and I really think that they would benefit from your course. So that's how that happened. Yeah. So, girl, get your nephew in the course. Slide in Steven's DM, so maybe y'all could kick it in Brooklyn or something.
I'm around.
I love it.
I'm around.
Yeah, this was really good. I'm trying to look over my questions real quick. I really feel like the stuff that you covered was so powerful. Again, it sounds simple, but usually it's just these little things that we need to change the trajectory of our life. I always like to bring up that not parable, metaphor, whatever, of a ship going in a certain direction.
Right.
And if you change the direction of the ship by 1 degree is nothing, but by the time you get to where you're going, you're going to end up in a completely different destination than what you originally set for. So I believe in that. Sometimes it's just, one of the things that stood out to me that you said is your goal being results, not success.
Right.
That's so major.
Yeah.
People are beating themselves up.
Yes. It gets a lot of people way down, and I think like, I said something the other day. I was like, look, if I fail more than you, I'll win.
I did not have that mentality growing up. If I failed, I was like, oh my God, like I didn't do this right. And it would be upsetting before I took the time to course correct.
Right. And I think that's where the speed comes in at too. Like, if I tried 100 times in an hour, I don't remember number 54. I don't remember number 65, Right. And I think that's where a lot of people can fail. They can ultimately fail because they move too slow. And you only do it 1 time. If you do it really fast 1,000 times, I kind of call it selective ignorance as well. Like, just be ignorant. Just be selectively ignorant about what it is that you're doing. You don't got to know everything. You don't got to remember everything either.
Right.
I don't remember all my failures. And I think, a lot of people don't know is I got into the digital product space in 2014. Wow. I never had a big course. I have a course right now I made in 2019 that nobody's ever bought, not even one. So it's like, I know I had the right tool, I was in the right place, I was swinging, I just didn't. I had one thing that was off, and so sometimes that's what we are. We're just off by a little bit, and by just tracking everything, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep believing. We can say, oh, I think I got an opportunity here. Here's my real opportunity is right here. But you're not going to see that until you're looking at all the results you have. Uh-oh. Jamie is off. So this is the Steven Story Show. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope all y'all like, comment, and subscribe here on Instagram. Oh, Jamie's back. Dang, it was my show for a second, Jamie.
I mean, my phone was like, we out. We're done.
I took over for host. Don't worry.
Thank you.
I told everybody like, comment, subscribe.
Oh my God. I'm glad I can trust you with that. Lord have mercy.
It's all good. I know how I go.
Oh, she said he was holding it down. I love it. Thank you.
You see it. Hey. Come on.
My gosh. Well, it's called King Speak. Yeah.
But yeah, what I would say to everybody, how you finish is not going to be how you start. Just show up. If you show up every day, something's going to happen. And then do I like what's happening or do I not like what's happening? Okay, let's change a bit. But if you try it one time, it ain't enough. I would say give yourself 1,000 times. Whatever it is you want to do, try it 1,000 times. If that's losing weight, go to the gym 1,000 times. If you want to do it really fast, go twice a day. So you can get it done in a little over a year. If it's a product that you want to sell, make 1,000 products. If it takes 1,000 products, do that. If it's relationships or something like that, I'm not saying go sleep with 1,000 people.
Oh, I was like, Steven, don't do it to me because you already know I'm tired.
Don't do that, but but just give yourself a try. Just give yourself a long runway. That's the other thing, guys. A lot of y'all give yourself some really short runways to take off of. I know I keep speaking in analogies, but that's just how I'm thinking right now. You're like, yo, I want to fly to Mexico. And you got like a 30-yard runway. No. Give yourself a mile-long runway if you need a 2-mile-long runway if you need it, so you can make something happen. And a lot of people, I just find they're a little too hard on themselves. They want perfection at the beginning, and it's like, no, just get started. Like when I made my courses, I didn't play around. I didn't mess around with my course. I did everything the right way.
You did. I did see your course. I went through it, and you did a great job. I was so proud.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
I did that in 10 hours.
Job. Okay.
From start to finish, it took 10 hours. I did it in one day. I do all my courses in one day. But I do my outlines prior to that. But it's speed though. That's what I'm saying. I don't play around. When it's time to make the course, I just make it.
Yes.
I'm not chewing on it for 3 weeks. And I know we're talking about courses, guys. It's just an example. Everybody got their own thing that they're doing.
Absolutely.
Just start showing up. It's literally that simple. You're going to figure everything else out if you show up every single day. If you went into your bathroom and cleaned it every day, I guarantee you can clean a bathroom in 3 minutes or 2 minutes or a minute and a half, something crazy like that, just through sheer consistency, And that's another thing I want to tell you guys. It's not just about consistency of showing up. You got to have consistency of will, exerting your will consistently. There's a story of Houdini. And so they had this new bank vault. And I don't know if y'all heard it, stop me. But so Houdini had that there. They was like, hey, look, Houdini, we know you break out of vaults and all that stuff all the time. We got this new high-tech bank vault of the late 1800s or early 1900s, whatever it was when Houdini was alive. So they bring these 2 guards in and they put them in a straitjacket and they close the door, right? And so about a minute goes by and Houdini's out. Okay. And they're like, wait, how'd you do it? He said, well, the guard forgot to lock the door. Okay, so this is what happened though, right? He just leaned on the door. He just leaned on it. He didn't try to get out of a straitjacket. He didn't try to unlock it or anything like that. And so sometimes in life, it looks like we're in an inescapable position, and then all you do is just exert your will a little bit, you out of it.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and so that's how I see it. I see these, you can see these impossible situations, and people are like, well, I'm gonna beat on the door. I'm gonna get a laser thing. I'm gonna get a chain cutter or somebody to get out of this place. And all you gotta do sometimes is push on the door.
Right.
But you won't know it until you exert your will.
Yes.
And that's where I think a lot of people win at. I think that's also where a lot of people lose at as well.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to ramble, y'all. We can talk about something
No.
else. I'm just talking.
No, I love it. Like, it makes all the sense, because I was thinking that, I've actually made a course, and then and I'm still, well, now a lot of life has happened since I made it. So there's things I want to add to it. But then when it came time and I made my hosting course, because a lot of people were asking me, how do you hosting? Da, 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 da. It took me like one day to throw that together too, because I've been hosting for well over 10 years. So it's
Exactly.
like, yeah, it was just a little effort to put in. But I do like that with the Houdini thing. Sometimes we do make the tasks and the monsters in our hands so big, when really it's just like, do you trust who you are, what you have, what
Mm-hmm.
you heard, and how you move enough just to make a move? Like,
Right.
we're on a journey. This isn't,
Right.
I used to have the mentality that time was going to run out. And it is. I'm not saying sit on what you're going to do, but there's a balance and a tempo to things that can be done and invited in that will give you results that I feel like are a little bit better than just hammering your way at something in a particular way where you're tired, you're not getting results, you're not getting and now you've built up a mindset that tells you everything is hard. So now you're in this vault and the door is not even locked, and you're like,
yeah,
how am I gonna
that's
get
what I'm
out?
saying.
Like,
You believe in your senses. You see what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people get caught up in. The two guards that put you in the straight jacket, you in this high tech vault, and you are believing your eyes and ears, right? Instead of believing what's inside of you. And I think that again, like, oh man, I don't have any money. Oh man, I'm this, I'm that. I don't have I'm not getting love. Whatever it is that you're wanting, you've made this vault in the straight jacket in your mind, right? And I think that that's something that I try to keep myself open to. That I'm not in a straight jacket. I'm in complete control. Obviously we're not in control of everything, but I'm in control of something. I'm in control of this right here, my brain.
That's right.
And so because I'm in control of that, then let's talk about this a lot too. I'm creating my reality. I'm being reality to my will. My reality to my will. Everybody got their own reality. This is mine. I'm in control of it, and I'm gonna exert my willpower and imagination on it to get what it is I want. And I think all of us can do that. And I brush right past that. It's a lot deeper than what you think it is. But you have to really be writing down these things you want. Consistently write down your goals. Consistently write down your wishes, your wants, and your desires, how big or small they may be. And you take action towards those things every day. Track your results, and you wake up and you do it again. If we keep doing that over and over again, before we know, we're gonna have something.
And see, with that little, what you just said, I love hearing that. And, I know we've been talking about career and things, but this is the type of energy I need to see from a man who wants a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, when we talk about commitment and consistency, you just nailed it very clear. We wrote down a thing. This is what we want. You're pivoting, you're tracking, you're trying, you're being consistent, and you're going to wake up every day and do it. Like, this is something that I saw my dad do. He was committed to our family. There was no question about where he was going to be laying his head at night ever. So it's just like, and I'm not saying it's all men, and I know you can't speak for all men, but where do guys miss the mark in this type of work ethic when it comes to finding a wife or being in a healthy romantic relationship?
It's all the same thing. How you do one thing is how you do one thing. It's just me. How you do one thing, how you do everything. It's fear.
Right.
A lot of men feel like they're inadequate in some kind of way. They might not tell women that, but they feel inadequate. Maybe they can't provide in the way they think a woman should be provided for. I was having this conversation last week too. It was like, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a really good guy, and he's 32, and he has put off serious relationships because he just felt inadequate. So it had nothing to do with the woman. He just didn't feel like he could provide for a woman at the rate that he wanted to, not the way she wanted to. And I told him, I was like, hey, did she say that? Did she say you was inadequate? Yes or no? No. Okay, that's what you made up. And so that's just fear-based thinking. That's all. And that comes especially when you're talking about relationship. That's two people. Two people got to write down what they want. Hey, this is what I want. Okay, this is what you want. Can we provide that for each other? Yes or no? Okay, yeah, I can try on other things. All right. And so, like I said, for men, especially for black men, a lot of black men feel inadequate in some way. Maybe they feel inadequate in their leadership abilities, maybe they feel inadequate financially, maybe they feel inadequate in their ability to show emotion and show love because they got their own hang-ups and traumas around those things. But that's where the other person comes in and says, hey, look, you ain't got to be perfect. I don't require perfection, you know? And I think if women can come with that, say, hey, this is what I am, this is what I got, this is what I can give. And the guy say, hey, this is what I am, this is what I got, this is what I can give. I don't require perfection on my side. I don't require you to be perfect. On your side, hey, I think if we can do that, we can find a meeting in the middle. We can find some type of accord as far as men and women are concerned. But I ain't married yet, so I don't know everything.
Yeah, but you're out here. It's like you're not married yet, but if that's on your board as a goal as well, just like it is to have 5,000 students, I watch you perform in a particular way when it comes to career. So was just curious about if it shows up and translate with the way you pursue romantic relationships.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm pretty methodical, about things I do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty methodical. I think also that as it relates to other men, I think that they just have to be open. And you got to be open about everything, right? When it comes to putting yourself out there, whether it's for love or money or success or anything, but like it's specifically about love and specifically about love between Black men and Black women, who I think is your target audience. We really got to be open. Just open ourselves up. All right, this ain't the boogeyman we're talking about.
Right.
All right, they're not coming to kill you and come get you. They're not hiding in the closet to come get you. All right, like this another person, and they want to be loved and feel loved too. And I think you just stay open to that and know that ain't nobody going. It's not going to be bad every single time. You can really have some good times with somebody else, and you ain't gotta be scared. But I think if you're moving with fear, it's going to make everything worse. Though, you move confidently and say, "Hey, look, I'm looking for the best outcome, not I'm protecting myself from the worst outcome." Because you protect yourself from the worst outcome, you ain't gonna get you're not gonna get anything that good,
Yeah.
And that's just what I've seen. That's how I see my parents, do their thing. These last 40 something years, they've been together since '79, so they've been married since '79. And so what I found with them was they were very open to each other, and they weren't like operating in fear.
Yeah.
And everybody know when you operate in fear.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You playing scared, that's how you get hurt.
Yes.
That's my whole thought process on it.
Yeah, me and one of my girlfriends were talking about that at the top of the year. Is like, because we do a lot of stuff with women too. Like we have a lot of sister circles, women's retreats. There's all kind of other stuff that goes on that, ain't on Twitter and ain't on,
Of course,
and and it's just like, that is one thing that I'm finding, with us women. And, when you talk about the whole, there's a lot of conversations going on about, women and masculinity and all these things. And it definitely comes from what you're saying, like trying to protect yourself. And it's like, you had the perfect words, like you can't be protecting yourself from what you're afraid of and then, expect the good things to come at the same time. But people get that confused and mixed up because you think, again, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Whether it be, because of what you went through or how society paints and pictures certain things. So.
But in reality, you're actually operating in bad faith.
Absolutely.
And that ain't cool. That's not cool for the other person. They ain't did nothing to you. But you operating in bad faith. They go for men and women. I was experiencing that a while back. I was like, yo, I would do something and then I would automatically be scared, like, oh man, she's trying to take advantage of me. Like, I didn't say anything to her about it. I didn't show that to her. But in my head, I'm like, I realized, I said, hey, no, you operate in bad faith, Steve. You gotta chill out.
Right.
You need to operate in good faith. She ain't did nothing that would show you that she's operating in bad faith. So you gotta operate in good faith. And I said to everybody, it's like, look, sometimes check yourself. You need to know when to check yourself, all right? I am messing up right now.
Yes.
I am acting in bad faith. I am not trusting this other person, and they haven't given me no reason not to trust them. That ain't cool, and that's not nice to the other person that's experiencing that, because they don't deserve that. Some people do, everybody don't. And bad faith should not be how you enter anything.
Work, relationships, career, this, like anything.
No, would you sit down in the chair like, hope it don't break? No. You just get in a chair. Same thing, you know, you just I'm not going off on that tangent, but anyway.
No, it's true because you know I'm from Hawaii. I was born in Hawaii, and
Right.
I'm terrified of the ocean. However, I would watch people surf, and some of the surfers they let you know like you cannot be afraid when you get in this ocean because the ocean is no games. If you fall
Right.
off this mug, you gotta surrender because if
Yep.
you fight and try and you're afraid of it, the waves will kill you.
You're not finna fight the ocean, okay?
It's not gonna happen.
You're not fighting the ocean. It's gonna get you every time.
Every time.
Just be
And we're
cool.
talking about life and death. So
You gotta be cool and just float on back up to the top. Be chill.
Let it toss you around a little bit. Yeah.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, you get to try to fight a wave if you want to. You definitely drowning. You know.
That's
it. Yeah, I for those of y'all who don't know, I live by the ocean. I'm in New York right now, but when I'm in Brazil, I live right next to the ocean, and so like I swim every day. And so because I swim every day, I get to experience the waves and all that, and like you really not gonna make it in the water. You are a small, tiny blip, and I think that's the same thing for life. You are a small, tiny blip trying to fight time and life and the human experience. You're trying to fight that. Like you're not gonna do that. Just relax.
Just float a little bit.
Yeah, don't take yourself so serious, you know?
Yeah.
You know.
No, I love it. It makes perfect sense. I am going to come visit you in Brazil one day. Maybe I'll bring some friends, but I want to go and now I have a reason.
Come on. Hey, look. Americans are getting to Brazil, so I mean, you ain't saying nothing but a word. Like this is nothing but a flight to catch, and you there.
Nothing but a flight. So we'll definitely have to get that together because that sounds like fun. I'm definitely that type of person, and I don't have any other reason to go there. So, and you know,
it's a lot of reasons. Once you get down there, you'll be like, oh, okay.
I'm not
I see why he's down here. It's a beautiful place.
I can't wait, and I love beach, ocean, everything. So definitely craving that. So we'll get up on that, but. I really feel like this was an amazing conversation, like always with you. Wanted to have you on because your insight is incredible. You have a lot of influence, you know, and I just, you know, I'm always rooting for you, supporting you, want to continue to see you do well. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I
celebrate you when you might not take the time to celebrate yourself. I'm having a drink for him because he did good today.
Look, I think like it's kind of like I just know where I'm trying to go and I can't stop at every little small win. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of many. I'm glad I got that one. But it's like, all right, look, come on. Let's just keep going. Because I'm going to tell you something. The worst success is a little bit.
Wait, what? The
worst kind of success you can get is a little.
Oh, okay.
You know, and so when you get a little bit of success, a lot of people lay off. I'm like, no, we got to keep hammering it for a bit.
Yeah, keep going, you know, and find the modalities it takes for you to even be able to do that. And you're doing it by example.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun to see it. Do I talk to my boys about their fears of growing relationships? You know, a lot of my friends are married now. You know, so most of my friends from college and stuff like that, they're married. They usually talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who ain't married now. And now it's more of me talking to older men and then just kind of getting me ready for what it is I want. Yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'll talk to my friends every once in a while about that, but that's not the main thing about my relationships with my friends right now. Because at this point, you know, men in their 30s, we're all kind of wrapping this thing up. At least the guys I'm dealing with. You know, I think for me and the guys I'm with, I'm talking to guys who are high performers. They want to be high performers. We know that there's only so far we can go alone, and you will get married if you want to go to the next level. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's how life works for me. If you want to perform at the highest levels, you will get married. You will have a family. That's just how it works. You know, if you want to hang out and be, you know, at a different level, that's fine. But you're not gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Historically speaking, though, if you want to perform at the highest levels as a man, you got to get married. You know, so I had a guy, one of my followers actually. I flew out to LA. You know, he's an older guy. He's probably in his late 50s. And he said, "Hey, Steven, I'm gonna take you out for breakfast. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm thinking we're gonna talk about business because, he does a lot of business. He sat me down. He said, Steven, look, you're a really good guy, but if you die today, you're gonna give all that you are is gonna go to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, look, you need to get married and have kids fast. Like, quit playing. And so I was like, all right, cool. It's like a 2-hour conversation, And I had some other conversations like that with some other older men and some men around my age group. They was like, all right, come on, enough. Let's wrap this up, man. And that's what I would say to other men. Look, I don't care. Okay, you scared, so what? Come on. We got to do this. We all got to do it, That's what I would say as men, because men control marriage, We control who gets married.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it's like, all right, let's go. Let's get it done. And that's kind of the space I'm in right now. Jamie already knows a relationship prior to, last year for a couple of years. That didn't work out. So I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And
that's okay, because you got to get it right. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, what side of the axe are you swinging with? What
Mm-hmm.
strength did you endure and build up while, pursuing and pushing the boulder, so to speak?
Right.
Like, all of it matters. None of it is a waste. And it's worth it. And it's nice to, know that it's nice to all, continue to have the conversation of the value of it,
Right, of course. But relationships, this is what we care for.
Yeah.
You think I work this hard? You think I work out this hard just to hang out with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta build a community and everything, but like the benefits of that, you think I just do that just to hang out with me, like just to, like eat steak or something like that?
Catch your own vibe every day.
I'm trying to do this for a family.
Absolutely. And it's amazing. My dad always tells me, because I talk to him a lot about, how things look sometimes. And, it's innate for a man to provide. And I think that sometimes, to have the family to provide for, it's part of legacy, in my opinion. And then what my father says, being an amazing man that he is, it's in your DNA. So, obviously I'm learning just to not pay attention to people who don't get it. But as sometimes, like, because of the way media has manipulated things, you speak about providing and everybody freaks out. Like, somebody wants to take something from you, or we have been in a space where almost, I don't want to say erasing gender or getting confused with roles and all this and that. But at the end of the day, what I believe is that it is in a man's DNA to want to provide and have a family. So I love that what you're doing this for, and it's a conversation amongst you and your friends.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, my dad's still here, so that's what he telling me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when he told me when I was a child, like, this is what we doing, this is what we do it for. Like, that's why I work hard. That's why I wake up in the morning. That's why I do these things. I'm setting examples. And so, like, the ultimate student is a child, and the ultimate way to bring a child into a home, into this world, is through a wife. If you're a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, get married, get in a committed relationship. That's the best way to have a family. Co-parenting is not the best way to have a family. Being a single parent is not the best way to have a family. It is a way to have a family, and everybody has control over that. But the best way throughout history has been to stay with the person you have a baby with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, it's, to support and provide. And, and if you're not ready for that, that's okay. But, that also limits where you're going to go in life,
Right. Yeah. I completely agree. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Well, Connie says she's rolling.
Come on.
I'm bring friends.
Come on down. It's a fun time. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. It hasn't happened yet for me, but that's how I feel about it. And I think we all can be better, men and women, by us being with somebody else. That's how. What's the original community? The original community is a family. Okay, that's the original community.
That part.
So we want to build those things out because it helps all of us.
And it's all of these things. It's commitment, it's consistency, it's community. That same consistency that we use to execute purpose and to get the students in the class and all this and that, relationships and family require the same, because they don't feel good all the time. Back to that, the business not being sexy. Like, it ain't sexy all the time. Like, that's just the reality,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But having that commitment, I definitely think it starts there. And then you can build from there with the consistency, and then boom, community. Because community looks a lot of different ways. It's brotherhood, it's sisterhood, it's, you know, it takes a village to raise it. It's all of the things. Like, we need each other. And, you know, being somebody that has always thrown events, like, that's my thing. So when the pandemic happened, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? We can't kick it.
Ain't no kicking it. There will be no kicking it going on. What we about to do?
Man, so it's like, I never want us to lose the value of what community means and how we commune and how powerful it is. My sisterhood, listen, without them, like, what, I don't want to say who am I, because God made me amazing in my own right and all this and that, but we're made to be together. Same thing with the men in my life. I have amazing men in my life that are my friends. They uplift me, they share, you know, and it's like, without other people, there's a part of my battery that just, you know, kind of ticks down. I don't feel like my full self without the reciprocal energy of community. So I love it in all aspects, and what it adds to life, human value, you know?
I'm down with you. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Here for all of the shenanigans. I can't wait. I haven't been kicking it like I used to, but I'm ready. I don't know what I'm going to do. I used to have, I did a monthly brunch party at a bunch of different locations every single month in LA for 6 years.
Wow.
Then y'all just going to pandemic me like that? That's okay.
I'll
find something else to do.
Pivot.
I'm finding that, Steven.
You know what I'm saying? Just pivot. You'll be all right. You know, it's I'm trying to think all the time. I've done a whole lot of pivoting over the years, but you just don't get married to one thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a problem. A lot of people just get married to one thing. Like, I have to do it this way, and it's gonna be my way. And I think that's the embodiment of, like, fighting that wave in the ocean. It's like, this is my way. I'm gonna do it like this. I don't care what you're a wave. I'm gonna do it this way. And the wave, what the wave say? You don't say nothing. Just be a wave and wash you away.
Yep. And before you even brought up the wave, the first thing I heard about that thinking was like death. Like, things cannot, it's death. It ends.
You out
of
here.
Ends there.
You out of here, you know? And I think that's, unfortunately, a lot of people, they kind of do that in relationships. They do it in, you know, their own, you know, pursue some success. So everything has to be not just only my way, it has to be this way. And if it ain't this way, it ain't no way. You know, unfortunately, but hey,
there's nowhere to go with that.
No. What else you got, Jane?
Well, you know, I mean, I feel like we covered all the things. You know, I was going to ask you earlier, and we talked about this a little bit. So if you guys, those of you watching, haven't seen Built Different, which was the title of the last show Steven and I did together, it was really good. I was watching that the other day, and I had noticed 30 minutes went by. I was like, did I just listen to us talk for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Because it was so good. But what I wanted you to share is, what are some of the resources that you use? Books to read. You shared that you do affirmations and things, but what type of literature or education are you filling your mind with that allows you to stay consistent on this path?
Yeah, so it's been like 15 years of books. You know, I read a lot. You know, I listen to a lot of audiobooks as well. Now, what I would say to most people read too much. I don't care if you read one book this year, you probably read too much based around the action you put in place. So if you're reading a lot, you need to be doing a lot. So what I would tell people who want to hear a book or something like that, no. I'm not giving anybody any book recommendations, no audiobook recommendations, because I'm not confident enough in your action taking abilities. So I want you to take some action first and then find out what you don't know, and then we can start reading books based around that. But just reading a book is procrastination. You know, because I have people like, well, I'm a perfectionist. You're a procrastinator. It just sounds sexy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a perfectionist. I got to have everything. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. But it's some dummy over here that's getting everything done while you're trying to read 4 books on it. You know, and that's what I would tell people. You know, it's like, it's not about the books or the YouTube videos or the, you know, articles of the books. It's about taking action and then looking at your own results.
Yeah.
You know, we got to start where we are. You don't need a mentor. You know, I'm performing at a level now I thought I was gonna need a mentor for. I don't, not yet. I think I got to go up another 3 or 4 levels before I need a mentor.
Okay.
You know, something I would pay. You know, so no, I'm not gonna give any of y'all any recommendations. Do the work. Let's take some action, and then let's look up in 6 months. What do I not know? Let's get some books on that, and you'll know exactly what book you need to get. You don't need to get a recommendation.
I agree. You know what? I actually really like that advice, especially because it resonates. I understand that. I'm a reader as well. But you're right. It's like I didn't know what to pick up until I was able to identify what I didn't know, what
Right.
was feeling sticky. Where do I keep hitting my head against the wall? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a doer. If I get an idea, I'm gonna do it. We
Right.
will figure out the website, the name, colors, logo. Don't bother me. This is the action that needs to be done.
Right.
And then as time goes by and effort is being put in, you start to see what is needed. Is it a mentor? Is it a book? Do I need to spend this week educating myself on this so I can implement this here? But just to
Right.
have a bunch of knowledge, like that's cute, but
Yeah, that sound cool. You know, that's what I'm at in life right now. That sound cool. That was Jamal say, like, and that's where I am with most people, you know. And I don't get mad at people. I understand where they are, but I see things because I'm doing the work day in, day out. And I'm like, you not doing the work.
and that's a problem.
And that's your problem. It ain't my problem.
Yes.
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work.
Right.
You know, and so that's what I would tell people. Whatever it is, it's love, it's you know, it's business, it's health. You want to move to another side of the city, you want to move to another side of the world, you want to learn the language. Put the work in first. Okay. If you want to lose some weight, start jumping up and down. Do some jumping jacks. Get out of bed. Move around, walk around the house, walk to the mailbox and back. You know, if you want to make some money, sell something. You got a computer you ain't using, go sell that. Bam, you made some money. Like, if you want to go find love, walk out the house. Bathe. Smell good. Go where people are. You know, the people you like are. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are very simple things. Like, we don't need a Reddit article for this. Like, we don't need like a book on this. Like, at least we can start somewhere we can track results. Hey, when I smell like this, I got these compliments. Hey, when I walked out the house, way more people talked to me than when I was inside the house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
these are very, very basic things, and then we can start going from there. You know, but let's not go read books first.
I love it. You know, I'm so convicted in that space because I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of my journey thus far. I got stories. I've lived a rock star life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I done taken my bite out of this thing. Like, I go. So I have all these things, and I can be very fearless and just have a lot of energy. I just like to do things and meet people and da. But one area where I tell you I'm not gonna move is this love thing. I am not gonna date these men. I'm so like, you just like so convicted me. I'm like, gosh, I guess I better, get out of the house and actually
Well, who made
give
these
somebody
rules?
a chance.
You know, who made these arbitrary rules up about? And I'm speaking specifically to you, Jamie. Like, who made these rules up about who you're supposed to be dating out of?
Who I'm supposed to be dating?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you're saying like I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do it. Like, who made that rule up?
I'm kind of thinking it was probably me.
Yeah.
It was probably me that said, this is what we're not going to do.
It's arbitrary.
Uh-huh.
It's arbitrary and it goes against your goal.
It does. Isn't that crazy? I'm being transparent. I'm telling you right now. Like, it makes no sense.
It don't make no sense.
No.
So then, and don't think you're the only person. I have my own arbitrary rules about things. I still do have my own arbitrary rules. And I actually started trying to go against some of them to see what would happen. And because I want a different result,
Correct.
I was like, okay, I'm getting the same result every single time. Let's do this different. Let's do this different. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think I'm in that space because I think it's like, I used to date a lot. I mean, I used to date a lot. And then, I got in a relationship and I fell in love and I just wanted to marry this person. We were engaged, blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. But after that, it's one thing to be selective and then it's another thing to like completely take yourself off the market. So I think I'm in the space where it's like, I want to find the balance between getting out, but I don't like a lot of people. I don't know how to explain.
You know,
You know what I'm saying?
I
That's why I
talk
don't like
about
to waste
some on
time.
Twitter. I talk about some on Twitter. I call it women going their own way.
Yes, I had to Google that, by the way, sir.
So it's
I was
actually
like, what
men
are
go
all
their
these
own way.
terms?
Men go their own way is the actual term. You know,
Okay.
men go their own way, where men are like, I'm not dealing with women anymore. They gotten hurt by women. They got divorced, something like that. And what I was saying was, it's a joke, but what it really means is that I'm seeing women adopt the tactics that men in the red pill space embraced 10, 15 years ago of not interacting with women on purpose. You know, they had sex with women, they had sex with prostitutes on purpose because they felt like women were going to be using them for their emotions and love and all that other stuff, right? And so what I'm saying is, I'm seeing women go their own way, whether they're consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it, but they're operating in a space that, for men, we call those men losers. And so, you know, that sound cool. That sound cool. You can make it sound however you want to make it sound, but you're not getting what it is you really want. You know.
Yeah.
And so you got to keep getting out there. Like, ain't nobody knocking your door down to marry you. You know. And so once we understand that, then it's like, all right, let me get back out there. Don't
but you know
operate in
that's what
bad
we're
faith.
taught almost, right? Like, because sometimes I get confused, right? I'm like, because I am somebody who believes that men and women are different. We're all
Correct.
human, but men and women are different. So could be advice that you give to the women, including myself. If it's, you know, I understand the men going your own way. I don't get that, because that does sound, you equate it to a loser. I understand that. But
Yeah,
you guys
as
are
a
the
man, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, but you guys are the pursuers. So
right, but these men have been hurt, and so they take their ball and go home. And so what I'm saying is, you're watching women do the same thing. They get hurt, they take their ball and go home. To the detriment of women, because the woman who's taking her ball and go home, she really want to be out there, but she's still hurt. And what I'm saying is like, look,
everybody
that
needs to go
sounds
play.
cool that you're protecting yourself and all that stuff, but like you're also holding yourself back from somebody who wants to be with you. But if you keep yourself closed off, they never know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. I think, you know, I did think it definitely goes on both sides, but it sounds different. So it's like we both need to continue to come out and play. But when it comes to men, I mean, I can say as a woman, there is an expectation of taking the lead in a particular way. Because in my opinion, now tell me if I'm wrong, if a man doesn't commit, he's not in that thing. Like, you have to actually want this. And as far as women, I'm with you. The whole women protecting themselves type of a thing, that's what my course, The Power of Posture, is about. It is a layout of a bunch of different things that I believe we need to introduce in our life to keep our heart open.
Right.
We still have to keep our hearts open, because that guard up thing, it just doesn't work.
It don't work.
So that's the work we need to do for sure.
Yeah. That go for, that's everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daddy, he make a real plain. You can't hug by yourself.
Correct.
It takes two people to hug. And so, like, if somebody's hugging you, you got to go ahead and hug them back. And so we got to get in these agreements, okay, or how are we hugging? It's a tight hug, it's a loose hug, it's a church hug.
Yeah.
It's on an office hug, look, sideways hug, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to figure that whole thing out. And that's where the agreement comes in at. We got to talk. But, what begins to happen, you'll see a woman's hugging, the man ain't hugging back.
Right.
The man hugging, the woman ain't hugging back for whatever reason. Right. And the other part is, a lot of times they both actually do want to hug each other, but one is operating in bad faith. Well, if I hug them too tight, they gonna, you know what? They probably looking at somebody else while they hugging me. I can't even see, and they look. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the point.
Yeah. No, you're right. I definitely think it's something worth continuing to explore. I definitely, when I speak with women, I know what it is because I am a woman and I've spent a lot of time in this space. And I can see that. But sometimes, with men, when we make certain comparisons, it gets confusing for me, because I'm like, okay, well, you're the leader, you're the head, you're the provider. There are things that have to be in place not for a woman to be a woman, but for a woman to lean into that space. And so
Well,
I
yeah,
love the way you spoke about agreement.
I
Yeah.
think, but it's another part too that, like that's what I was telling you about the whole inadequacy. A
Oh,
lot of
okay.
men have inadequacy around their own leadership abilities. Not that they're a bad person or they're going to lead you down the wrong path. Is that they never seen it embodied in somebody else.
Mm.
They kind of lost on that. And I think that's where, again, you got to have those conversations. Hey, look, this is who I am. Okay. This is who you are. Hey, look, I don't know what leadership means. I don't know what that looks like. You know, they don't make him a bad person or ineligible. Just talk about it. Hey, look, how do you want to do this? Because ain't nobody mind readers.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, what is leadership like for them? It might leadership for one person might be, hey, just make sure we splitting the chores properly.
Right.
That might be leadership, or leadership might be full on being the main breadwinner of the household and making sure you stay home. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't nobody know until you talk, because that's what I'm saying. Like, because this man might feel inadequacy around being a leader. He thinks you want this, and this. And all you really want is somebody who's gonna pick up the phone and call you first. And remember your things you like, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have those conversations, because everybody got their own what works for them in being led and being a leader.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues is, the loudest voices in the room are not the right ones. We see
The vocal
so
minority.
much. What's that?
The vocal minority.
The vocal minority, and it's media. It's this stuff that we choose to retweet, and it's like, why does this have 65,000 retweet? What value did you get out of it? I'm saying that because it's like sometimes I can see why there are a lot of men I can tell that feel inadequate, because when you have the vocal minority shouting that we need cars and bags and $30,000 this and that, it seems ridiculous. Where in my regular life, I don't know nobody that talks like that. I don't know not one woman who sits up there and is like, if my man don't buy me a Birkin, he ain't that.
Do you
The
know how much a
majority
Birkin
of women,
costs? Do you know how much a Birkin costs? Like a Mercedes.
I don't want. I'm like you. I'm a minimalist for one. For two, I don't wear. I come from modeling. Okay, people dress me, and if not, then it's tank and jeans. I'm not very complicated. A bag is not going to do anything for me. Is what I'm saying.
No.
A bag is not going to do one thing for what I need my man to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that men. I don't want to say I don't think that men understand, but what I hope to share, is that just the way y'all are, the fact that you're men is enough. You're different than we are. You come to the table with different things. Like, it's nice to see, because I can tell a lot of men are feeling inadequate. They don't want to approach. They don't want to say. They don't want to, because they feel like they're not there yet. And we're getting to 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43.
Hell yeah.
And you 45 years old and feel like you don't you could have been married 10 years ago. You are enough. You have enough. And you might even be more now had you had a good woman by your side. Like,
yeah. I think I probably could have got out of this game 10 years ago, honestly. I think I didn't feel adequate 10 years ago. And so I kind of put myself in the dating pool for a while. I was just like, look, I'm finna get right. And I didn't date girls who made more money than me during those times. I just felt like I wasn't adequate. I didn't even talk to them, approach them, like their pictures on Instagram, comment, nothing. I didn't hop in no DMs. It wasn't nothing for years, But now I'm killing it out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But those things fuel me in a way. But I was also I was much younger. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's okay when you're 22. You're not adequate at 22. You need to go make something of yourself.
Correct.
But a lot of men. Not a lot of men, but some men, they kind of do this arrested development thing, and they wait, they're 35, 36, 37, and they're trying to get their head on straight, or they're trying to, well, I'm not ready yet. Well, my nigga, it's a little late for all that. You ready? All right, the cake has been baked. Okay, the deal is done. We gotta go.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at. And now I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get this thing out of the way in the next 18 months. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, but that's a
Yeah.
good goal. And so, for a woman, like we can tell the difference when a man is setting a goal like that, because we can feel it, and it really does create the space to be like, oh, well, this is what he wanted. He's not doing this to pass the time, fill his ego, put on a persona of something he's not. That he wants this.
Yeah.
So, that's really, it's a decision, because again, that's what it's going to come down to when we talk about commitment. I watch my dad decide every day to be there. It's a decision. So that agreement, these conversations have to be had and real in order for both people to benefit from what each other has to offer. Different things, but we all have something to offer each other. And I love that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. It's a, I think we're in an interesting space, especially in the Black community. I think the conversations we've been having as a community over the last 2 years, it's some benefit there, because men and women now are finally talking to each other. Hey, this is what I want. Hey, this is what I want. And I think also people understand about the pandemic. Everybody watching might not have got coupled off, but like when the clubs closed for a year and a half, I'm telling you, everything changed. Everybody got. I think everybody that's listening to me would be lying if they said they didn't get a little more traditional when the pandemic hit.
Come on.
Everybody, men and
Wow.
women. I think all of us got a little more traditional. Because everybody was freewheeling out here doing whatever they felt like doing. When that pandemic hit, you got a real provider and nurturer real quick around here.
Listen, you are not telling no lies. Like, because there's nothing to distract. It ain't happy hour this, club that, all these girls, that. You in the house, you by yourself. What you gonna do?
Everybody in the house. Everybody learn how to paint and
girls
fix
want to
stuff.
cook again. Y'all not cooking?
Man, I seen motherfuckers bake bread in 2020 than I ever seen in my life. Everybody turned to bakers. Everybody learned how to. Like, I seen more folks cooking food, men and women cooking food all the time. I said, dang.
Right.
Everybody learn. I'll be cooking. I was already cooking pre-pandemic, but like I low key like I got right, during the pandemic. But I think that that's good. That is great. Good. For everybody that was single, I think we all of us that were single. I wasn't single during the pandemic. Well, the pandemic was still going on, but I wasn't single for most of it, but I am now. But like what I learned was this ain't finna work alone. Yeah. This is not finna work. This is a sneak peek at what life would be like if it was just me. I'm cool. I'm a pretty cool guy. Right. I ain't that cool.
Right. Listen, it ain't meant. You ain't supposed to be that cool. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it.
Like that. I'm not one of them. Okay, like, I think, I think a lot of women felt the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I think you nailed it. That is exactly what happened. Even with the way, caring for your kids, like you're home with your kids. Thank God. Why, who better for them to be with the majority of the day than you? And there's all these things, pandemic babies, they're smarter, they're this or that. Yeah, because your butt is relaxed. You're not out here trying to hustle and run around and did it, and you're here giving your child, what it like traditional. We're back to it's almost back to the basics in a particular way. And I love to see it.
Yeah, my sisters, they both stay-at-home wives now. They've been stay-at-home wives the whole pandemic.
Great.
And for them, like seeing my niece, because my nephew's about to be born here in a month or so. But my niece so chill. And my sister, her mother is super chill about her every day. She ain't like, sit down somewhere, go ahead.
No.
They had the house relaxed.
Learning, playing, singing, dancing.
They be relaxed. And that's it. And I think that I want that for more of us, because I think that can kind of right the ship in our community. And I think we're going to see some benefits come out of this. Because, like, for example, I came to the pandemic as a 31-year-old. I'm a 33-year-old now.
Mm-hmm. Got your Jesus here going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but those are some integral areas, right? I could have kept kicking it for another 2 years, but then, like, okay, I'm not in the club no more. I'm like completely out of the club, and my whole schedule and life schedule is not based around like parties and football games and tailgating and stuff like that. Like, it's just not a part of me anymore. But like, that's the story for a lot of us, like
Yeah.
these people who came into the pandemic at 28, 29, they 30, 31 now. They're like, they might have had a few more hot girl summers left in them. Now it's like,
No.
that's done now. Like, because we had a really serious thing that happened in life. Okay. We got caught with our pants down this time, but we're not going to let it happen again. That's the general consensus. If something like this would have happened again, I'm judging the people I'm dating based off of that.
Yeah. Right.
When the pandemic hit, did you get weird? Did you freak out? Did you go buy a bunch of toilet paper for no reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all interview questions basically at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
As it relates to dating and all that. Like, hey, did you learn anything at the house when you was in the pandemic?
Yep.
Then the dating questions people need to be asking.
Yep.
Hey, hey guys, did you build anything during the pandemic with your hands? Did you learn a new skill? Did you learn how to make more money? Did you increase income during the pandemic? Yes or no? No? Okay, well, it's nice knowing you.
Yeah. I have a lot of guy friends. I have a few guy friends who have told me that exact thing. Now that when they date, it is refined the way that they ask and what they're seeing and what it means to them very specifically. And I love to hear that because I came from Hollywood. I lived in Hollywood, LA for God knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much of it was so superficial. At some point, you don't even know you're being superficial. And it's like I would watch my guy friends get with these girls and I'd be like, okay, you sure? Okay, because I can see what's going on, but I'm gonna let you got to go through your own things. But now it has introduced, questions and necessity that, like you said, we were caught with our pants down, but that's not gonna happen again. And there's a certain type of girl and a certain type of guy that it's just not gonna fly. If this happens again, you can't do this with that woman.
No.
You're gonna be hungry. Your kids gonna be crazy. Like
house gonna be dirty. Yes. Y'all gonna be stuck in the house for 2 years. Man, you
better have something you can evolve with.
Not me. Look, get you somebody that's pleasant. Overall, get you somebody that's easy breezy. Okay, easy breezy. That's what you want. You can deal with anything. If they just pleasant to be around, you can deal with anything else after that.
Agreed.
But this is an interesting time in human history. I think they'll be writing about this stuff in the years to come. I don't know if I saw more relationships or less relationships. I just saw a lot of people kind of get stuck with the musical chairs, the music cut off and everybody, a lot of us are standing up,
Yeah.
That's kind of what I saw. I don't know what you saw, but
yeah, it's either some people made it or they didn't. Some people's relationship made it through and they got stronger, or some people they didn't make it.
Oh, mine didn't make it. Shit.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, mine didn't make it.
Why?
She's not here to speak for herself on that.
Yeah,
so
it's not about.
I can only say one side of it. It's just it wasn't a fit. It wasn't a fit that I thought it was.
Okay.
Did the pandemic exacerbate that? Yes.
Okay.
So I got to see some things that I probably would not have seen had we been doing life in a normal way.
Okay.
I was like, you believe that? Else, you think about that?
Wow.
I don't know about that. This how you treat people? I don't like that.
Right.
And there was some things that I probably wouldn't have seen. Those things I wouldn't have seen the way I saw them.
Yeah. I understand that a lot. This has brought a lot to the surface. Do you think it's something that, well, everything happens for a reason and everything happens in a certain time for a reason. But do you think the things that you feel like you discovered would have been revealed if you did something like a move-in together before marriage or do you know what I'm saying?
Probably. Yeah, probably. It didn't, but probably so. It was gonna show itself one way or another.
So what? Because we hear different things. You should move in before marriage. You shouldn't move in before marriage. You don't really know a person until this. There's coming from the Christian faith. They'll be like, I met my man in 3 months we got engaged and married. It's 27 years and we're still together. Like,
Yeah.
when it comes to that type of thing. But sometimes I'm teetering on the fence of like when to move in together. Should we do that or not? How does that exacerbate problems? Like, because had you married this girl in a more traditional way and then y'all moved in, would it be a divorce situation or would you have to work through it? Like,
Well,
I feel like people are getting caught up.
You got a few things there. You always got pre-marriage counseling. You always got that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that can always help you out and start something, finish something. But the other thing is like, we always have the option to leave when we're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes.
So you can find a way to leave as a boyfriend and girlfriend, but when you're married to somebody, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm leaning more towards the marriage side of things. Like, look, just go get married. Yeah. Okay, y'all want to move in together? Okay, let's go get married. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You ready to sign contracts together? Let's go sign another one right quick. It's just some paper now. Let's go do it.
Right.
You want to buy some furniture with me? Shit, let's go. Come on. I'll meet you at the courthouse. Then we can go to Haverty's.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point. It's just like, when you put the marriage title and everything, then there's a duty there, right? But when we just boyfriend and girlfriend, ain't no duty.
Right.
I like you. Well, you know what? I don't like you no more. Let's just get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But when it's marriage, it's like, well, I don't like you today, and we're gonna have to just figure out how to like each other again.
Right.
And I think that for most people, that's really a better deal.
I think so too. I feel like it matches with what we're wired to do, because it just goes to commitment.
Yeah, it's just like, go get married to somebody. If you're gonna be with them Black folks be with each other for 15 years. All the time. 15, 20 years be together. Oh, we just boyfriend and girlfriend. Man, y'all go get married. Come on. We're notorious for that. So clearly we know how to commit in some form.
Right.
Look, can y'all do it? If you can do a year together, y'all can do more than a year together.
Yes.
Just go get married and just do premarital counseling.
Yeah.
And just come on.
Come on with the legacy.
We're fighting a battle on several fronts as a community. As Black Americans, we're fighting a battle in a lot of ways, and we're doing it with one arm tied behind our back because we're not with somebody. Mm-hmm. And I think that it takes all of us to say, hey, you know what, enough. Let's pair up, and we'll figure it out on the back end. But let's go ahead and do this. Yeah. Because ain't nobody gonna find nothing perfect. It's gonna be perfect all the time.
Right.
They find a perfect person for you, but they're not perfect. That's just my thinking on it.
I mean, I love it. I love your thought process. I love what you have to share, your growth. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think we about made this juicy for under 2 hours. Look at us.
Look at it. Look at it.
Yeah, I love it. We're definitely going to have to kick it sometime.
Oh, yeah. I'm around.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out and just keep, doing your thing and growing. I know, you're inspiring people. I know people look to you in a particular way. So you are a mentor, who knows? Oh, so one thing I did see, I see you're not going to be promoting your courses for the rest of the year.
I'm not putting them on sale for the rest of the year.
Oh.
Well, they getting promoted 15 to 20 times a day, every single day.
Okay.
They ain't going on sale no more.
Oh, okay, got it. I was like, wait a minute, what does he have up his sleeve? Like,
nah. I mean, we got a lot more to go with that. The main thing, it's gonna be a long run on this one. So, I got about another 8 products to go. 8 in this product suite, yeah.
Okay.
We got a lot more to go.
Okay.
Because the products had to grow with the students. I'm so far ahead of my students that there's so many things they're not even ready to learn yet. From a technical standpoint, and I can't even introduce it to them yet.
Correct.
So I have to wait a bit.
I
gotta wait for my earliest students to even get. My earliest students ain't even a year into it yet.
Right.
My earliest students who've been licensed and working, they'll be a year in back in March. Mm-hmm. They still don't know nothing a year in.
Yeah.
And so like I have to grow everything, their product selection out with them as they grow. Yeah. But they're not ready yet. Yeah.
That's bomb. That's what happens when you're an expert in the field. You know the unfolding. You've been there. Now you can look back and just lead people down the path. Yeah, and that's perfect. So I'm looking forward to seeing everything, you
I
know.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Got all my little stuff together, you know.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was it. I think that's all I have for you right now.
That's all you got for me today. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we
Man.
sure we had
I'm
to put
always happy to be on
it
here.
together, didn't we?
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm happy to be on here with you. I'm happy to share these things and talk.
Yeah.
It's always a good time. You're really good conversationalist.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna cut up some clips and share it with the people so they can continue to learn and grow. If they got 3 things from this conversation, I guarantee it would change their life.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a little bit, but it's enough.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I've seen a lot of people change their lives with less than this. You know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Yes. All right. Well, onward and upward. Commitment, consistency, community. We did it all. Please let the people know where they can find you and indulge in all of your amazing content and the community that you're building.
Okay, so Steven Storey on Twitter. So you just put an @ right by my name right there, and from there I have a link to everything. You can see all the things I have from Twitter. That's where I'm most active at. YouTube, if you got some deeper questions about anything I've asked, everything I talk about is on YouTube. If you want to see my Instagram, it's all there. Click the link in my bio on Twitter, and you can just go from there. Okay.
Done and done. And y'all already know, follow me on Instagram at Jamie Alexander, and make sure to follow Kings Speak. And of course, the link is in bio to all the shows. I think we have, I want to say 40 shows. It's something crazy. We got a lot of content, a lot of information. We've been consistent.
That's consistency right there.
Yeah.
That's some real consistency right there. I like it.
That's right. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you gained. Please share this with a friend, and we will see you on the next show. And I'll talk to you later, Steven.
See you.
All right, y'all. Bye.
All right. Bye.